So I'm here with Jen, and Jen works with me. Did not know that she was a veteran until it got brought up one day, so I said, I have to take you out to lunch because I take veterans out to lunch every week. And you served for the Army, correct?
That's correct. The Army Reserves.
Army Reserves for how long?
This is my 4th year.
Okay, right on. Where'd you get into it?
Why? Well, I actually got into it because I was looking for a new job, and they had a job posting for administration, and it ended up being a recruitment ad. And I had thought about it when I was in high school, thought about it a couple years after that, and then so I thought about it again, and I was like, I'm going to do it this time.
Right on. So what have you done?
So I do helicopter repair.
Okay, that's
I work
cool.
on the powertrain systems for the Chinooks, Blackhawks, Apaches, and the Kiowas.
That's cool. My best friend is a helicopter pilot for the Navy in Japan right now. So
I would love to go work on an Osprey. But
Yeah.
I haven't gotten that chance yet.
That's cool.
We don't have those.
Were you good with like hands-on stuff before you did this, or did you just learn it as you training and that?
Well, so when I first was talking to the recruiters, I kept having like a nurse's assistant pop up, and I hate needles, and I was like, no. And she said, well, what about a mechanic? And I had an ex that did like car mechanic stuff, and he not so much would let me help, but his dad would let me help work on the cars and get to help work on the drag racing cars and stuff.
That's
and
awesome.
It was fun. I really loved it. And so when she offered me this mechanic's position, I was like, well, are they going to teach me how to do it? And she's like, yeah, of course, we send you to school. And I'm like, well, then I'm in, because I love doing
awesome.
hands-on stuff.
That's cool.
Like that, yeah.
So how many like with repairs? It's just like everything top to bottom.
Well, no, so I just do the propeller system. So anything that has to do with the rotor heads, and then anything that has to do with seals and bearings. And then also my particular MOS does all non-destructive testing.
Okay.
So, do you know what that is?
No.
Okay, so non-destructive testing is where you want to take a look at a piece of metal, right? And there actually may be a crack inside the metal that you can't see, and there are ways that we can test that without destroying the piece before. So, because most of the time you test it, you have to destroy it to find the flaw.
Yeah.
We can do it where we can either do a fluorescent penetrant, which uses a black light to see surface cracks that are really small. We can do eddy current, which uses an electric pulse to see inside. And then ultrasound, we can do radiography, which we don't do quite so often. It's a little more dangerous. And then magnetic particle, which is kind of like the fluorescent, use a black light, but use magnetic particles in there, magnetize a piece.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So how often do you do this?
Well, right now I do it once a month.
Uh-huh.
And I go to the unit in Olathe, Kansas.
Okay.
Kansas.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I would think that the helicopters probably get pretty worn down fairly quickly because the pressure change, temperature change is hard
There's
on
a
that stuff.
lot of different things. Like if you are near the ocean, then you have a lot more inspections to do more frequently because
the
salt
salt,
water
yeah.
is a problem. There are daily inspections, weekly inspections. There are hourly, once the aircraft reaches, say, and each aircraft is different, but say like a Chinook has a 200-hour inspection. So once it flies 200 hours, there's certain things we have to check for. And then same for a 400-hour.
Yeah, that's cool. So it's like your 3,000-mile oil change.
Yeah,
but you've got it different.
pretty much.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so like on a 400-hour, you might take the entire rotor head apart and then inspect all the pieces of it and then put it back together.
That's cool. That's awesome. So you say you did it once a month. Have you ever been deployed?
Yes, I went to Kuwait and I just came back in April.
Oh, nice. So, but there for a year?
Yes. Yes. 8 months.
Yeah. And just working on helicopters the whole time over there?
The whole time.
Wow.
We did, I went with the unit in Texas to Kuwait, and we worked mostly on Blackhawks and Apaches. And then they actually right at the end started bringing in some Chinooks, so I got to work on this. And that's what my Kansas unit is primarily. We do all Chinooks. even though the 15 Deltas, which is me, can work on all the helicopters.
Okay.
So our unit is just a Chinook unit, but we went and worked on the Blackhawks and Apaches.
So I'm familiar with those because, like I said, my best friend flies helicopters. But since we are doing this, and some people might not know the difference between a Black Hawk, Apache, or Chinook, tell me the difference between those three.
Okay, well, your Blackhawk is your utility helicopter. Those are the ones that you see pretty much flying around a lot. Most of the time, that's
Big
what
ones,
you see
yeah.
in the movies and whatnot. The Apaches are, of course, the attack helicopters with the Hellfire missiles, and they're very distinct. They've got their missiles on the wings off to the side. I don't think they're called wings, but whatever.
Tails?
No, it's not the tails. It's the two side pieces.
I know what you're talking about.
I should know what that's called. But. And then your Chinooks are the big ones that look like school buses.
Okay.
They have 2 rotor heads.
Yeah.
So while the Blackhawk and Apache just have a rotor head and a tail system, the Chinook's got 2 main, an aft and a forward rotor head.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, we were outside a couple weeks ago, and the reason I bring this up is because we were outside, and all of a sudden I started hearing this pulse. Like, it almost sounded like, John Carpenter movies, right? He always has like that soundtrack that it's like this pulsing.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like as far as you could hear it. And I never, ever heard a helicopter make that kind of sound before. So my question is, do different helicopters make different sounds by the propeller that they have?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I wonder what that one was. It was a deep, like, it sounded, like I said, it sounded like a John Carpenter.
You can definitely tell the mechanics for sure, and anyone in the aviation system can identify the sound of a helicopter. They can tell you which kind is coming before you see it.
Yeah.
Most of the time, because with the Chinook, you almost get a double sound because of the 2.
Yeah,
systems.
and they're kind of out of phase with each other. Yeah.
And then of course, the Blackhawk has only 3 propellers on the main runner head, while the Apache has 4. So they're definitely going to make different noises.
I wonder what kind of helicopter that was.
I don't know.
That's weird. I'd never heard anything like it before.
I mean, and there are other ones too where, you've got like the Sea Stallion, which has 7 or 8 blades. I mean, and they're just as big as the Chinooks, but look like, the Apache kind. Not the Apache, the Blackhawk. So that might have been something you were hearing.
That's cool.
I don't know if there's any of those around here.
It was going north, so I'm assuming it was going to Kansas.
Okay.
This is what it looked like. Usually, I think that's usually the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That would have been cool to see.
Yeah. The weird thing was my buddy it was his house, and he lives on the north side, and kind of a little, I wouldn't say dangerous because there's really no dangerous parts of Springfield. And we were thinking it was something else, and we were just like, what the hell is that noise?
Yeah.
And then we saw that, and we were like, oh dear God, I've never heard a helicopter make that kind of sound before. But yeah, it would be interesting to figure out what it was.
We went to okay.
Thank you.
We went to Burning Man. Do you know what that is? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So we were just at Burning Man this past year, and there is apparently a base of some kind not too far, and so there was like 3 or 4 Chinooks that one day just decided to go up and start circling the burn.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool to get to watch.
Yeah.
I still am in awe of all the I just watch them. Like, we'll be out on the lake and I'll just see a helicopter and I'm like,
yeah, well, that's what you do, and that's cool. That's cool that first you but it kind of created interest as you went sometime, and then you found something that you're interested in and continue to be interested in.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I love doing it.
That's cool. Well, thank you so much for your service. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.